Today's podcast is brought to you by Audible.com. Get a free audiobook download at www.audibletrial.com/comedy podcast network. Over 100,000 titles to choose from for your iPhone, Android, Kindle, or MP3 player.
Everybody in podcast land, and welcome to another sports podcast. I am Joel Anderson.
I'm Jordan Pomaville.
And joining us as always is the sports outsider, Phil Ranta.
I'm outside, so outside that I'm testing levels right now.
Yep.
That's too outside for my liking.
That's a little too outside.
Changing the audio levels.
Phil.
Yeah.
Catch any games this week?
No. Were there games going on?
Yes.
What kind of sports are happening right now? Hockey?
The World Series.
No, that's actually the only one not happening.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
You named the only sport that is not happening.
How are the Pittsburgh Penguins doing?
No,
they're not playing.
They're locked out because they're in a contract dispute.
Oh, yeah, that's right. We did a bit on that.
We did.
And by bit, I mean real audio.
Yeah, real news.
Yes, what we actually
real
call-
actual news.
Yeah, we don't do bits.
No.
Phil,
we do
I'm
chunks.
surprised you must realize, though, that the World Series, well, at the time that we're recording this, the World Series is going to start tomorrow.
Yeah.
By the time you're listening to
Oh,
this,
you
folks,
gave away too much
probably-
information,
yeah,
Joel.
It's probably going to be like 3-4 games deep. But, so, you must be excited about that, right, Phil?
Actually, until now, I did not know the World Series was happening tomorrow.
So, you didn't know that the Detroit Tigers, our own hometown Detroit Tigers, are in the World Series?
I am glad that Detroit gets a little ray of sunshine.
Oh, my God, Phil.
That's fun for Detroit. How are the Red Wings doing?
They're not playing.
not playing.
Phil.
I know you called me Joel to start.
I
You're
know,
so
I'm
used to getting
so
angry.
That's
angry.
how frustrated he was.
Yeah. So used to yelling at you.
Yeah.
It's true. It's true.
Who are they playing against? The Orioles?
San Francisco Giants.
The
Which
Giants.
I'm actually okay with because 6 years ago we beat the New York Yankees and the Oakland A's en route to a game. We swept the ALCS en route to a game in the World Series. I had a point. I was getting to it, Phil. You can't even the standards we hold for you caring about sports are very low, Phil. Very low for a sports podcast. The fact that you didn't even know the World Series was happening.
Hey, the World Series is happening.
Oh, okay. Football. Did you catch any football? There's a
No.
Monday night game last night.
The Madden 2013's got to be coming out soon, though, right?
It
already
out.
came
Oh,
out.
it's already out.
Yes, for whatever reason, the 2012 NFL season is Madden 2013. That's always
What?
bugged the shit out of me.
That's crazy.
It's like with car models, you know?
That always bugged the shit out of me too.
I-
Why be a year ahead? That makes no sense.
Wait, are you talking
Why,
about
when you get your magazines in the mail, does it say a month from now?
Does it do that too?
Yeah,
Think
it
about
does.
that, Jack.
You get like the
crying out
November
loud.
issue of Game Informer in early October.
I don't know that I've ever been a member of a monthly periodical.
And
Check them out. We've been written up in some of them.
Yeah. Like Sports Podcast Comedy Weekly.
That was a bad time to go into specifics.
That was a
Yes.
tough one. That was a tough one.
Especially because if it's a weekly magazine,
Yeah.
it's not a month. I've gotten weekly magazines.
Yeah.
Before. Newsweek. By the way, no more print edition of Newsweek.
Tim Tebow, update, watch, update.
Tim Tebow, update, watch, update. Brought to you by
Mentos. Feel the rush in your mouth. Whoosh. T-Bone.
All right, Tim Tebow, update, watch, update. You
Yep.
ready for this?
All right.
How many?
Just a few.
Oh.
Okay. First of all, I want to preface this with this was the first time all year when I read the Associated Press recap of the Jets game that I did a word search for Tebow.
Ooh.
And nothing came up.
What?
Oh.
0 matches in the article. Generally speaking, they put at least one mention of Tebow.
But
in
he's
the-
God's chosen son.
He is. Yes. not in this article.
Isn't that the way, like, God comes down to save us and nobody even talks about him a year later?
Conversely, he was in the Reuters article.
Ah.
No, I'm just kidding. There was no.
Oh, I was going to say.
God or
Very
Tebow?
classy.
4 carries for 12 yards.
Hey, 4 carries.
A long of 4.
Is that a season high? 4 carries?
It might be.
It might be.
Wait,
No.
4 carries for 12 yards and a long of 4? That means that he had pretty equal-sized runs.
Yeah.
Yeah. Jets lose an OT to the New England Patriots, 29-26. Yeah, not a lot to
Did
say.
he have any pass attempts?
No passes attempted.
Season completion percentage still 100%.
Whoa, good for
That's
him.
true. That's true.
Yeah.
He has completed, I believe, 2 on the season.
Yeah.
Wow.
And incompletions, 0. 0.
Good for this Timothy J. Tebow.
Yes.
All right, that's all. Tim Tebow, update watch.
Tim Tebow, update watch update. Brought to you by
Mentos. Feel the rush in your mouth. Tebow!
That was
really?
like Universal's Halloween Horror Nights.
That was
Yeah.
Halloween Horror Nights.
Feel the rush in your mouth.
Feel the rush in your mouth. There's the new Mentos haunted theme park where you get chased by bad breath. Gingivitis. Feel the rush in your mouth as you're rushing to your death. Tebow!
I'm imagining a comical commercial in which zombies are worried about their fresh breath.
Yeah.
And they're
Oh,
eating the Mentos.
don't say we're totally pitching it to Mentos.
Yeah.
Shh.
Oh, don't tell anybody
Don't
out
tell
there.
anyone
podcast,
that is
Bill.
such a good idea.
Yeah.
Surprising news.
Ah! Oh, you caught me off guard.
That's got to be a new
Oh
drop.
my gosh.
Ozzie Guillen fired with 3 years left on his contract.
I thought that he was fired forever ago. Didn't we already cover this story?
We joked there was talk that maybe he was going to get fired when he made that ill-advised
Yes.
comment.
Yeah.
When he praised Castro in pretty much the one city in the entire country where it's the absolute worst idea to praise Castro.
Yeah.
Not a good idea in most American cities.
Right.
Nowhere is it a worse idea than in Miami. But yes, that was something he did at the beginning of the season. Did not get fired for that.
Now he's fired.
Now he's
Yes.
fired. They
All it
finished
took
in
was an atrocious season of baseball.
last place,
Low.
Whoa. How are the Tigers doing this year?
first place.
Wow. Good
Yeah.
for them.
In their division. The Miami Marlins went 69 and 93. 162 games in baseball,
Yeah.
69 plus 93. No, they won 69
Yeah.
games. They lost
Did.
93. That adds up to 160. That's what. Anyway, he still owed $7.5 million last 3 years of his contract. In the offseason, they signed Jose Reyes, Mark Burley, Heath Bell. They thought this was going to be the season, opening up a new ballpark. You bring in Ozzie. He's got a lot of buzz around him.
Sure.
He's done. He's gone.
Is he
Just
gonna?
like that.
Is Harriet gonna take his place?
Okay.
Ozzie and Harriet.
You know who would get that joke?
What?
Joel's phone.
Because Joel's phone is so old. Ah, you properly used a Joel's phone joke.
Thank you.
I don't know. Joel's phone is busy waiting in line at the Tower Records for the new Jim Blossoms record. I don't know if it can make it. Sorry, Ozzie Guillen got
Yeah.
fired.
No, what's remarkable about this is he actually kept his cool for most of the year. Like, there were incidents
Yeah.
with Heath Bell where Heath Bell seemingly was acting a little bit like a bitch.
Yeah.
But Ozzie maybe not handled that in a great way. But really, since the whole Castro comment really didn't make a lot of headlines except for losing.
Oof.
Out after 1 year, he says, "With the job I did this year, do you think I deserve to be back here?" Guillen said in the final day of the season. Of course not. But I'm not the only one. Let's start from the top. This is a classic Guillen move. He takes some responsibility, then goes on to blame everyone else. The front office failed. Ozzie failed. The coaching staff failed. The players failed. Everybody failed.
Wait, he called himself Ozzie?
Yes, third person.
Oh, that's awful. I hate it when people do that. Phil Ranta hates it when people do that.
What?
Yeah. Phil Ranta doesn't want to hear it.
So yes, so we lay to rest the Miami tenure of one Ozzie Guillen.
I don't know if he's going to manage again. At least for some time.
He'll get another. I think it'll be like, I think he'll definitely not manage next season.
Maybe he'll be forced to manage a little league team, and they're like a ragtag group, and their parents don't love them, and then they play on the little league team, and they make it all the
this
way to
has
the
got movie
majors and
written all
teach
over it.
Ozzie how to not be racist.
I like it. I'm a little depressed by the whole their parents don't love them
What?
angle that you threw into the pitch.
What? I don't remember that.
Yeah,
When
you
did I
said
say
a
that?
ragtag group of kids who their parents don't love them, and Ozzie is like, whoa.
I don't remember saying that.
You
Did I
totally-
say that? My parents don't love me. What? What? Is,
You just did a thing there.
what?
You just
what
you
did I
just said
do?
that your parents don't love you.
The
Phil.
Miami Marlins were 69 and 93.
Ah, nailed it.
Phil's back.
All right, Phil's
Yeah.
back.
All right, do we want to talk about Lance Armstrong, Joel?
We should probably quickly talk about Lance Armstrong.
What happened in Lance World?
Officially stripped of his 7 Tour de France
I
titles.
thought that happened already too.
No,
I feel like we're having the same podcast we had months ago.
This is Phil's T-Vote sports information.
Yeah, this is like deja vu podcast.
yeah, the U.S. Anti-Doping Administration Agency, I don't know, the U.S. ADA had stripped him of his titles, but they didn't actually have the authority to do that. The UCI, the International Cycling...
United Cycling International.
Yeah.
When I have too much sex, sometimes I get a UCI and I have to drink cranberry juice.
Yup. Happens all the time. Anyway, they made it official. They apparently did not want the bribery charges that were potentially coming up.
Bribery charges?
Bribery charges.
Oh, doping agency was being bribed?
One of the things the USADA came up with was some circumstantial evidence that Lance had actually failed a drug test and then bribed the UCI to cover it up.
Nailed it.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
So it goes, but I think we should just direct all of our listeners back to episode 37. Because we did a whole bit on this like a month and a half ago.
Yeah.
What Phil just said. Man.
Yeah, but it was about who actually won the Tour de France, and we're breaking all this down. The decision by the UCI is to leave the 7 years that Lance Armstrong won the Tour de France blank for the winner.
Can I be the winner?
Vacant.
Why don't they just let me be the winner? It'd mean a lot to me.
Well, no, that's the thing is they want to. There are some other people that would probably go ahead of you, Phil, namely people who rode in those races.
I know how to ride a bike. It's like I remember it quickly. It's like riding a bike. Just jump back on.
Factually correct.
Yeah, factually correct. But I think that's going to be their big statement about the era. It's going to be seven titles in the record books that are just vacant, no winner.
That's kind of sad.
It is kind of sad.
That's
but
kind of like having a ragtag group of baseball players whose parents don't love them.
Why don't their parents love them, Phil?
I was thinking a Halloween Horror Nights Tour de France. 7 years, there was no winner.
I would love it if, and for all future Tour de France's, when they were lining up, someone would be like, "You don't want to ride in this race." For 7 years, there was no winner, but they still raced it. It could be this year as well.
I like it.
That's not bad.
Yeah, it's pretty creepy.
All right, what are we doing this week?
Let's see. We have a couple of big interviews, a couple of big baseball interviews.
Big baseball interviews.
Interviews. I think the waiting room may be a little tense right now because we have Jim Leeland, manager of the Tigers.
Grampy Leeland.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, Grampy Leeland was in
the hard Scrabble, hard smoking Jim Leeland.
He does play hard Scrabble. He doesn't play the medium Scrabble.
It's the
he
hard
only
Scrabble.
goes for the hardest ones.
And sitting across from him right now is Brian Cashman, the general manager of the New York Yankees. Leland's Tigers just did a 4-game sweep of the Yankees in the ALCS. It was very embarrassing for the Yankees. They pretty much got their asses handed to them.
Yeah. Oof is right.
So
also,
we're gonna talk to Cashman about the future of the Yankees. So
all right. And Phil, do we have a weird sport?
We got part 2 of the weird sport we did
last
last time.
Our first 2-part weird
part
sport.
2 of cricket is coming up. We've already learned a lot. We're gonna learn a little bit more.
Oh man, I'm excited. We left off at it was a total cliffhanger.
It was,
or as they would call it in cricket, a wiggity boom.
A wally boomer.
Yes, a wally boomer. We left off at a total wally boomer.
Yeah.
Let's get started.
Yeah.
All right, this is a very big interview right now, Phil.
All right, I'll take your word for it.
All right, and you be nice.
Okay, I always am.
It's general manager of the New York Yankees, Brian Cashman. Brian, it's good to have you on.
Yeah, hello. Thank you. It's good to be here.
How's the season going?
Season's over, Phil.
Oh, did I ruin it already?
No, well, we talked about this a minute ago.
Right.
Okay.
Oh, because the Tigers are in the World Series.
That's right. We got swept.
Oh, okay. That's too bad.
It's really sort of a problem.
All right.
Problem not for me.
Well, here's the thing. Yankees, every season you go into, you have sky-high expectations every year. Certainly, getting to the World Series, winning the World Series is generally an expectation. You don't expect to go out in a sweep. And I know people are talking about, what's the next move? You got a lot of people, contracts coming up. You got some contracts still going on. What's the general offseason plan?
We do have a fair bit of contractual obligation to at least a couple of our players over the next 4 to 5 years. That's certainly a concern. But we do have, we are confident that without overexpanding our payroll, we have the pieces in place to form a pretty strong core moving forward. and that's sort of where we're standing. Obviously, there's some moves that we'd like to make this offseason. We may not be able to, but we'll see how it plays out.
Like put together a team that can win some games against the Tigers?
That
one of the
would be
moves?
correct, Mr. Ranta.
All right,
we obviously are going to want to win more games against the Tigers than we did this year. I mean, specifically 4 more than we did this year.
I like your little American flag pin.
Oh, you do?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's quite nice, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's actually those are rubies. In the
What?
flags. This
Whoa.
cost me
Man,
a
I
pretty
would love
penny.
to have something with
Is
the
that-
precious
is that a
gem.
Oh,
tip
yeah,
someday?
absolutely. Well, hey, how about this? I'll trade you the flag pin.
What?
Absolutely. Is that like an external hard drive you got sitting there?
What, that one? Yeah,
Yeah.
but it's just full of like garbage footage.
It's fine.
It's mostly
tell
old
you what,
sports podcasts.
I will trade
Hardly
you.
garbage.
Yeah, it's
I will trade you the wonderful flag pin
Really
Yeah.
nice.
and Alex Rodriguez for that external hard drive.
wow, really?
Yeah.
No,
All right.
do not do this, Phil.
No, why?
You're taking on his contract. That guy signed through 2017. He's 38 years old. He can't catch up to fastballs. He makes like $20 million a year. You don't want this.
Yeah, those are real rubies.
The contract obligations alone. You do not want these.
But
I
this
really
hard
think
drive
he'd
is
bring a lot-
literally, it's just full of crappy,
Okay.
stupid, boring sports podcast
Why don't you?
episodes.
How about the hard drive for the flag pin?
Hey, I like that trade too. You want to do that one?
Well, you really have to understand. I think Alex would bring a lot to this podcast. That he would. He's a veteran with a lot of experience. He's hit 647 home runs. There's a chance that he could pass Barry Bonds' all-time home run record.
Hey, is that
while
carrot
here?
juice?
Huh?
Do you have a thing of carrot juice?
Oh yeah, I'm trying to stay healthy. I went to the juice bar before I came here. Hey,
Hey, how about this?
I'll trade you the carrot juice.
Yeah, I'll take the carrot juice.
Oh, okay, hang on.
And
Well,
I'll give you the hard drive for that.
Oh no, that's not a hard drive for a carrot juice. I saw a juice box in your fridge, right?
Oh yeah, that's
Yeah.
even better. Juice
So tell you
for
what, I
juice.
will trade you my fancy carrot juice with celery seed in it as
Hey,
well.
I love
Oh,
celery seed.
Yeah. And I don't know, Mark Teixeira for that juice box.
Sure,
No,
that sounds
Phil,
great.
No, do
What?
not. He's trying to sneak in. He's trying to get you to take on these bloated contracts he's got. I don't think this is a good deal.
I could have my own baseball player.
What are you going to do with the baseball player?
I don't know. He could fill in for me on the Sports podcast. I
Mark
won't have to
Teixeira
do-
can switch hit.
I know,
Think
he is
what
a
that
switch
brings
hitter.
to
That's-
your
This
podcast.
is the only job I have in a week. This is it for me. I just sit in my room and stare at the ceiling until I do this podcast.
I don't. Well, that's sad. I don't think this is a good trade. I don't think you want this.
Oh,
Okay,
What?
all right. I have one more suggestion here, Phil. I've noticed you've been eyeing my watch.
I like it.
It's a Rolex. It's
Yeah.
quite a nice watch.
And,
Now-
and Mickey Mouse's arms are the minute arm and the hour arm, right?
Yes, which is makes it a very rare Rolex.
Right. That's pretty cool.
Here's the thing. I've noticed
Flexible
that
Mickey
you
Mouse.
have a hot plate.
Yeah, that's what I have because I
could
was homeless for a while.
Probably use a hot plate. I'm willing to say trade you my Rolex, and let's put the mystery box on the table.
What?
In exchange for your hot plate.
That is insane. I mean, the hot plate, I could buy another hot plate at Goodwill for $2 and a Rolex
That's a
with
lot.
Mickey Mouse on it.
Don't know
That's
where you're gonna find
expensive.
another one of those.
You know what? I'll take it. I'm going to take that. You got a
Well,
problem?
are
right,
you
done
sure?
and done.
Maybe you
Here's-
want to inspect
no,
the mystery
here's-
box
here's
first.
the
I
watch.
think maybe we should
Here
introduce
is
you
the
into the
mystery
mystery box.
box.
I think you should
All right, I'm
shake-
going to open. No, I've already got the trade. I've got it in my hand, and I am opening up the mystery box and.
Hey,
Alex Rodriguez.
hey, listen, can I bet cleanup? I think it's a much better podcast with me in the lineup, guys.
Brian
Can I get
Cashman,
the-
gotcha,
can I
Phil.
get
Listen,
the
can we
flag
go
pin?
ahead and talk about my days off? Because Ed,
Days off?
you guys do know that you now owe me $137.5 million, right?
I don't think.
Wait,
Phil,
whoa,
you
what?
should have looked in the mystery. That's
Do
why
you
you
know how to
always
use
shake a
GarageBand?
mystery box. You
Do you know how
always
to edit
shake it
audio?
before you.
If I would have shaken it, it would have broken his little neck. He's
no,
so
but
old and
I can
fragile.
play third base or shortstop.
So I can play Guitar Hero.
I can't play Guitar
This was
Hero.
a terrible trade.
I just missed Brian Cashman. He was
Yeah,
walking
yeah.
out. What's in that box? over there
You
in the
don't
corner?
want to look in that box.
You didn't make a deal with Brian Cashman, did you?
Let's move on,
Oh
Joel.
fuck! Do we have Alex Rodriguez now?
Let's move on,
Oh, for
Joel.
crying out sake! I'm
Let's
in the
move
jug
on,
for
Joel.
10 minutes.
We're on to another segment, Joel.
That is really frustrating, Phil. What are we gonna do with Alex Rodriguez?
Yeah, you think that's bad? I lost my hot plate too.
I'm sorry, Phil. Well, I'm really excited though to bring on one of my favorite people in all of the sports world, a real stand-up guy, one of the best managers in baseball, Jim Leeland. Jim, it's really great to have you on the podcast.
Hey, Joel, it's good to be on the podcast, you know?
I also think it's good to have you on the podcast.
Phil, it's good to be here, you know?
He knew my name.
Yeah, absolutely. Be nice to this one, Phil. Again.
I am.
Yeah.
Always.
So, Jim, we got to ask you. The last time around, 6 years ago, it was a 4-game sweep in the LCS for the Tigers.
Yeah, that's right.
NLCS went to 7 games. Tigers wind up losing in 5. A lot of people had some questions about whether or not the team had done enough to stay frosty during the break. What are you doing this year?
Well, the best way to stay frosty is just jump in the freezer there. But, the players are going to come in and play on the field a little bit and, have some Pall Malls, win some Salems. And, we're going to get out there and, we'll be right. We're going to play some instructional minor league games and, Marlboro Reds, and we'll be fine out there.
Hey, he's speaking my language.
Yeah.
Yeah, that made a lot of sense.
Okay.
A good way to stay frosty is to be in the freezer.
Yes.
It's
not exactly what I was asking him, but that's okay.
Have you ever had a frosty beer mug? Put it in the freezer. It becomes frosty.
That's a good way to keep your
we're
milk cold.
talking
Just
about,
put it in a frosty
baseball
mug.
players.
There we go. Finally, a sports guy who gets it.
Listen, Jim, I think it's obvious to everyone you're probably going to have Verlander going in game 1. You're probably going to try and pitch him three times in the series. Do you think there's any chance that you might have Verlander go in short rest if we are in a potentially deciding game 5 or game 6 where the Tigers are down?
Well, that's not something I want to talk about. That's one of those we can cross that bridge when we get to it. I always said an Achilles heel is really just an Achilles heel.
That's true. Achilles heel
There's
an
nothing
Achilles
inaccurate about that statement.
I agree.
This we don't want any pitcher to go on a short rest unless they absolutely have to. And it's something that the managers and the players will have to decide.
Right. Okay.
He's like Dustin Hoffman and Dick Tracy.
I vaguely
Oh,
remember
come on.
that
That
movie.
was a good reference
That
right
was a movie that goes on when Madonna was really still a looker out there. Lucky Strikes, Parliaments, and she looked pretty good in Dick Tracy.
there. She did. It's true.
You keep just saying cigarette companies, just sort of off the.
I really don't know what you're talking about there, Joel, but it's great to be here. Absolutely.
Okay. Yeah. Well, Jim, we're also what do you have to say to all of the Tigers fans who've been supporting the team all year?
Cool. Newports.
Wait, whoa. That was 2 cigarette brands and 2 words. Cools and Newports.
Some of them, I know they want to run us out in the rails sometimes, but you really can't. You gotta give it to the city. They're good baseball fans.
His face is getting really red.
And you're jiggling your leg a lot. Jim, do you want to
Virginia
smoke?
Slims and
Virginia Slims.
yeah.
Remember,
absolutely.
it's non-smoking at our waiting room, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's Prop 65. I see a bunch of sites. I don't really care about reading them.
Yeah.
Yeah. So how long has it been since you last had a smokes?
3-4 minutes. How long has this been?
It's been 2 minutes and 51
about
seconds.
3 minutes?
2 minutes, 50 seconds too long. I tell you what. Hey,
Your face is turning really purple.
It's oxygen, and everyone needs a little bit to breathe and get out there and see if Bonnerman. Tell that kid you can't go fishing with a shotgun.
That's true. You can't go fishing with a shotgun.
It's true.
That's
Jeremy
right.
Butterman not on the team anymore.
Yeah, but I don't want to chew yesterday's breakfast. I always tell Bonnerman it's the most important meal of the day.
Yeah, that
Your flop sweat is creating like a pool below you.
Well, I got a lot going on in my mind now. I got a World Series tomorrow. I'm going to be going out to San Francisco to take on the Giants. Should be a good game. Verlander game 1.
All right. So just one final question here, Jim. A lot of people say that you are like this era's Yogi Berra. How do you respond to that?
Well, I always said a yogi's a practitioner of meditative Eastern religions and a bear.
No,
That's true.
No, that is not.
no.
Yogi Berra was a baseball player.
No,
Absolutely. Heck
he
of a
wasn't. He
catcher,
was
I'll tell
smarter
you
than
what.
the average Berra. Yeah, there we go.
That's right.
Me and
out
Jim
there-
Leeland get along. We get each other.
Absolutely. You're
This
not
is-
one of
this
those
is-
hippies with
I-
those
I-
American
I wanna
spirits,
say
are
this,
you?
yeah.
'Cause those are crazy with
This
those.
is the first guest you've ever gotten along with. Phil.
Yeah.
Even the guests where you weren't present for the interview, you always had some sort of tussle with them in the
Well,
waiting room.
you know what they say about guests that we have on the podcast is that they're guests who come on a podcast and talk.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, there we go.
I guess absolutely. You know, you come to the podcast, you talk, you get exactly what you expect on this podcast.
That's right. I
And,
absolutely agree. Winston's. We should go out and have a beer sometime.
absolutely.
Okay,
That
all
sounds
right.
good. Campbell Nights,
Yeah,
you know.
what they say about beers. They only get warmer when they're taken out of the fridge.
Oh, absolutely. That's why you got to drink them fast. That's
There
what I'm
it
talking
is.
about.
Okay, all right. I'm putting an end to this.
You gonna stay here and guard the podcast equipment?
I guess.
All
yeah.
right, cool.
Listen,
We'll
Tell you what,
see you
Joel,
later.
you're a real professional podcaster, and we think you do bang up work here.
Yeah.
Thank
you know what they
you,
say
Jim,
about
I
banging
appreciate
up. Once
that.
you're done, you just got sore fists.
wow. Okay. Thanks.
I don't
thanks
quite
for,
get that one, but I really appreciate it, Phil.
Yeah, of course.
Thanks for coming on the podcast, Jim. It was really great to have you.
All right, thanks for having me.
Friendship. For you, the listeners of Sports Podcast, Audible is offering a free audiobook download with a free 30-day trial to give you the opportunity to check out their service. I personally recommend a wonderful book called The Hunger Games by Suzanne Collins. Joel saw the movie. He said that it was okay. To download your free audiobook today, go to audibletrial.com/comedy podcast network. Again, that's audibletrial.com/comedy podcast network for your free audiobook.
Previously on Weird Sports.
That's not your baby.
Oh, that's a sticky wicket.
Sergeant MacArthur, but you're dead.
Oh, a wicked googly.
You're off the case. It's too personal.
But I'm gonna turn in my badge and your baby.
We've been playing this all week.
Wait, Dennis is my son?
In the 13th pass, I'm going to score an extra run.
If that sandwich falls off the building, then we're all gonna get gonorrhea.
Fuck.
And now it's time for another
Weird Sports.
Weird Sports.
I'm glad we had
Super
that
exciting.
recap. I'm
Yeah,
glad we,
I'm all caught up
Now I
Yeah.
completely remember everything we talked about on the first episode of Weird Sports Cricket.
I'm going to go over it very quickly just in case you don't remember. In cricket, there is a pitch. On a pitch, there is a bowler and there is a batter. The bowler is trying to throw the ball at the wickets to knock them over. If the batter hits the ball into the infield or outfield, they're able to run back and forth, placing their bat across the line to score a run. There are two runners on the field at any time. They can keep running back and forth until they score a bunch of points and win. We're all caught up now. Aren't you guys happy?
I mean, that was entirely redundant given our excellent previously on Weird Sports, but
Sure.
yeah.
I just can't believe she never let Dennis know that.
I know, right?
Yeah.
Hey, let's not get caught up in
I'm
that.
sorry. It's
We're all obviously pretty shocked about what happened in last week's Weird Sports, but we have to learn about cricket.
Well, now we have to learn about what the 11 players do. We kind of know the basis of how to play. Let's get into what these players do individually.
roll call.
Roll call. There is the bowler. There is a fielder. There is a batter. And everyone else is dead. No, the bowler. The bowler reaches his delivery stride, meaning his run-up. Although some bowlers with a very, very slow delivery take no more than a couple steps before bowling. A fast bowler needs momentum and takes quite a long run-up, running very fast he does. It's like the way Happy Gilmore hits a golf ball.
Yeah.
Yes.
All right, no questions on that. Cool.
No, yeah, we get that.
The fastest bowler can deliver a ball with speeds at 90 miles an hour.
Ooh.
Yeah, pretty impressive, huh?
Yeah.
They sometimes rely on sheer speed to defeat the batsman. I like that wording. Who is forced to react very quickly. For those of you who haven't seen cricket, they have a tendency to throw completely overhand. Like underhand, but the opposite. Like they're looping over like a Muppet throwing a ball. Right? Their hand goes like a windmill.
Yes.
Guys, this is Weird Sports. You're supposed to ask questions.
We need to understand cricket.
I want to
Okay,
learn more.
we
I,
got
kn-
it.
I got bowler.
You're doing
I
a
don't
good
need
job
another
of
minute on
explaining so
bowler.
far.
Okay,
Yeah.
fine.
There's 11
Bowler-
other guys I know
We talked
nothing
about bowler last week.
Jesus, fine, all right.
I know
God.
batsman, bowler. What about the other guys?
All right, first of all, there's a wicket keeper, also known as a keeper. He operates behind the wicket, being defended by the batsman on strike. In other words, it's like a catcher in baseball, except there's a wicket in the way.
Yeah.
Because
I like
he can't block the wicket, or else it'd be too easy, right?
Right.
Yeah. So the wicketkeeper is normally a specialist occupation. His primary job is to gather deliveries that the batsman does not hit, so that the batsman cannot run bys.
Oh, so if the ball just goes loose, then the batsman can advance.
Yeah, it looks
and score
like it.
runs.
Yeah.
Okay, that's interesting.
Looks like it.
All right.
He wears a special glove and a box over his groin and pads to cover his lower legs. I don't think it's that much different than catchers, right?
Well,
Yeah, it pretty
catchers
much
in
is
America
something-
wear a cup.
Right, they wear a box.
That's a little. You'd think they would have advanced enough to go to the cup. It's a pretty
No.
easy shape.
You do
instead
know
of a
that
rigid
everyone
box.
in England does have a cube-shaped penis. So that's why
that
they
is
have to
actually
wear a box.
news to me.
What?
I did not know that everyone in England had a cube.
You
I
do
have
not spend enough time in London bathhouses.
They
I
also
guess not.
that's where the saying come from. Like, is your tube ready for the cube?
Ew. Owing to his position directly behind the striker, the wicketkeeper has a good chance of getting a batsman out, caught off the fine edge from his bat. It's kind of like when
Ooh.
you hit a foul and then you catch it.
All right.
Because
it'd be like a foul tip.
Right? He's the only player that can get a batsman out stumped.
Stumped.
Huh? What?
He's the only one that can get a batsman out stumped. Of course, stump means to it's a manner of dismissing a batsman. Off stump is the stump off the side of the wicket. It's the same side as the batsman bat.
Next week on Weird Sports.
No, I mean, I think the way that I'm led to believe it's like the foul ball that you hit, right?
Led to
Yeah,
believe.
fine,
We're
yeah, led to believe it.
there are conflicting views on this.
Conflicting views.
Different schools of thought.
Yeah.
All right, the other 9 fielders are tactically deployed by a team captain in chosen positions around the field. They are not in the same 9 positions every time.
Oh.
Yeah, they kind of scatter them out like football. They do it strategically. Like, we're running a blue 87 this time.
Is it like baseball where there's like a field of play that you can hit the ball into and have it be fair, or is it like 360?
Well, there's a lot of different kinds of positions. It looks like on this little chart, there's like 50 positions. I'm probably
I believe there is
overestimating.
no
Oh,
foul
wow.
territory. Everything
Yeah.
is in play. If it hits
Everything's
off
in
the
play.
bat,
Oh,
it's
wow.
in play.
So what are the names of all these positions?
Some of the names are Slip, Third Man, Silly Mid-On, and Long Leg.
Silly mid-on?
Those are honest-to-God names. I'm going to pull up the entire chart of names because this is fascinating. to me.
Cricket position or Nickelodeon Kids Show.
Right. There's the deep forward, the deep sweeper, the deep forward, deep backward, square, long leg, long stop, fine, third man, short, square, deep backward, forward, cover point. There's a ton of positions that you can
And
be.
some of them are apparently silly.
Yes, some of them are
Silly front
very-
on,
Some of them
yeah.
are wildly silly. You know what?
I've
just
heard from
accidentally-
Alex Rodriguez that if we play cricket, he's only going to play long leg.
Oh, for crying out loud.
No.
Yeah.
He's got nothing but demands.
Well,
Cannot believe you made that trade. Phil.
hey, we're paying them. Gotta do it, right? All right. In that case, we will move on. We know where the other 9 are. They're random. There are always many in unprotected areas, if you know what I mean. Yeah. The captain is the most important member of the fielding side as he determines all the tactics, including who should bowl and how. And he is responsible for setting the field, although usually in the consultation with the bowler. It's kind of like president and vice president deploying the troops.
No, it's exactly like the president and vice
between-
president
There it is.
deploying the
Does
troops.
this mean for every like batter or whatever you call it that like they have a consultation and like all 9 guys are then distributed amongst the 50 new positions?
I imagine it's in between innings,
Right.
Not in between batters.
I would imagine that they probably don't call a lot of audibles. It's a kind of slow sport.
Yeah.
Yeah. Except for the throw, which is 9 miles an hour. If a fielder becomes injured or becomes ill during a match, a substitute is allowed to field instead of him. Yeah, if he's just like, oh, I've got a bit of a cough. I'll need to go sit down and drink some tea. Yeah, they can substitute. However, the substitute cannot bowl
Oh,
or
of
act
course
as a
not.
captain or keep the wicket.
Good.
They
I'm
must
glad
be
they
a
have
long leg
rules.
or a deep.
So what happens if your wicket keeper gets hurt?
You got to keep going.
Without a wicket keeper?
No, he's got to keep going.
Oh, wow. My
Dude, tough.
goodness.
Yeah, no doubt. Well, maybe we should get to. You already know about the batter, so I'm not even gonna get into that. Runs. How
Yeah.
runs are scored. You guys had some questions about that.
I thought we covered that.
No, I think we covered runs.
Well, okay. Okay, fine.
I was
You run back and forth, you score
yeah,
runs.
my point of
Okay.
confusion is like what happens. I mean, because it's not like, all right, so in baseball, you have to throw strikes.
Yes.
You know, and their strikes are balls, and you can't throw a bunch of pitches that can't be hit.
Yeah.
What is stopping a bowler from doing that? Because the bowler's got to get the wicket.
Yeah, because if you hit the wicket,
There's
it's
a
an out.
dismissal.
It's
True.
yeah, basically it's one strike, you're out.
But like, what's to stop you from like just throwing a whole bunch of bowls that are way like
Because
outside?
if it gets
then
past
they
the
can
wicket
run.
keeper, then they can start running.
But
Yeah.
if the wicket keeper knows what you're doing with it,
Then why would that
But
would
the
just be
goal is to
wasting
hit the
time.
wicket. You're
I
not.
understand that. I'm just saying, what's to stop the bowler from like?
Nothing. It would just be a waste of everyone's time. They would start booing and throwing.
There's no
jellies on the-
walks because they have a specific goal.
Yeah.
It's to hit the wicket.
Understood, but I'm just saying, you know, couldn't you lull the batter into like a deep sleep by throwing it outside too many
That's
times?
a terrible strategy.
And then zing it in there and get the wicket.
No, because the guy's gonna be ready, and then everyone's gonna go, "Boo! We came to
Boo! You're a bad bowler.
I'm a
You
quick,
take
bad,
bowling
bad
lessons from
bowler."
Joe
So
Landerson.
what is a googly? It's a type of bowl. I remember that.
Let me search here. Google.
I'm not sure how you spell
think-
googly.
A googly. Here it is. All bowlers are classified according to their looks and style. The classifications, as with much cricket terminology, can be very confusing. Hence, a bowler could be classified as LF, meaning that he's a left-armed fast bowler. An LBG, lesbian, bisexual, and gay, meaning that he's a right-arm spin bowler who bowls deliveries are called a leg break or a googly. So it's
Oh.
like a spinny throw.
Sounds like
Like
submariner.
a curveball.
Yeah, it's like a curveball. Totally. All right, because I looked for that, I lost my place. Let me jump back in. Here we go. So this is what I wanted to go over in runs. The way that runs are reported is dismissals and score are marked in the same thing. So it's like if you're talking about the score of like Australia in a match, you might say 5 for 224, meaning
Wait.
they've got 5 dismissals and 224 runs.
Okay.
That's a lot of runs, it
Yeah.
would seem.
Exactly.
How many dismissals to a what is it, side?
Inning.
It's 5, right?
Is it
Didn't
5?
we say that earlier?
I don't think we said that earlier.
Pretty sure it was 5. This is a confusing sport, y'all. Let's talk about dismissals.
Yeah.
There are 10 ways which a Batman can be dismissed. One is the Joker killing him. One is the Penguin killing him. No, a
Third is
batsman-
bad behavior.
Yeah.
Yes, exactly. That he's dismissed. Let's go over all 10. We got to do it really quick because we're starting to run out of time, and I don't feel like we know anything about cricket.
I'm more confused than when we started.
Okay, so the first one is if he gets bowled, meaning the bowler has hit the wicket.
Out.
Right? Out.
Dismissed.
Dismissed.
Caught. The batsman has hit the ball with his bat, and the bat was caught before it touched the ground.
The ball was caught.
Yeah.
meaning, yeah.
Also, if it hits his hand, which was holding the bat, and then the ball's caught, also out.
Okay.
A leg before wicket, which is a ball has hit the batsman's body when it would have gone on to hit the stumps.
So if you try to take one for the team,
Yeah,
Yeah.
dismissed. Run out. A member of the fielding side has broken the wicket with the ball while the nearest batsman was out of his ground, which means that they broke the wicket. The guy was running.
he
like,
wasn't
if
on
you're-
either side of the
If
safe
you're
area.
on the base paths and they whap the ball and knock the wickets off, then you're
Yeah.
out.
Yeah,
You're
exactly.
dismissed.
You're
Dismissed.
dismissed. Stumped is similar, except it's done by the wicketkeeper after the batsman has missed the bowled ball and stepped out of the ground, not attempting his run. So, guy steps out, bowler gets the ball, knocks over the wicket.
So I take like a massive swing and I miss,
Yeah.
and I while regaining my balance, I step out of the ground.
Yeah.
The wicketkeeper, being on top of his game, has grabbed the ball and he throws it and knocks the wickets off.
Absolutely, right?
Okay.
All right. Hit wicket is if the wicket is dislodges one or both of the balls with his bat, person, clothing, equipment. I think that
So if he
bails.
touches the wicket.
If he touches the wicket and falls over, out. Hits the ball twice. It's very unusual, but it happens. If you hit the ball twice, you are dismissed.
I don't even know how that I would
Like
happen.
you hit a foul ball and then you hit it again, I guess. Or you.
But if you know you hit it the first time, why would you hit it the second
It
time?
says it's rare. It says it's rare in the
Well, it's
article.
like you can't hit a volleyball twice in a row.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's okay.
All right. Obstructing the field, another unusual one, but it's the batsman deliberately getting in the way of a fielder.
Okay. Yeah.
Dismissed.
Yep,
Dismissed.
Handled the ball. If the batsman
It's a pretty sensible. So now we're
touches
just
the
getting
ball.
into the realm of. It sounds like you're dismissed if you break the rules in an egregious way.
Yeah. Timed out is the 10th one. Means the batsman did not arrive at the wicket within 3 minutes of the previous one being dismissed. Timeout.
So basically, it's like a delay of game. If you don't come out of the proverbial dugout,
I'm sitting there. I've just poured myself a piping hot cup of Earl Grey, and I'm waiting for it to cool enough to drink it. And then, sure enough, Jordo's up there, and he gets dismissed because he accidentally knocks the wickets off with his bat. Totally unexpected. And what am I supposed to do? So I'm like, well, I'm obviously not rushing my wonderful cuppa.
I'm yelling, pour some milk in it. It'll cool faster.
And I'm saying, I don't like milk.
Classic. Yeah, that's the game. Guys,
All right,
ready to play
guys.
cricket?
All right, let's go play some cricket. We got A-Rod. We got to do something with him.
I don't know what there isn't to understand, Jordan. You look still confused. There's a wicket, there's a bowler, there's a batter, there's a keeper, and then there's 9 random other people on the field, like the long leg and stuff.
I like that.
Try to chuck the ball, knock over the wicket. If they hit the ball with the bat and it lands on the field, they have to try to run back and forth and score points, as many as possible. After 5 dismissals, you switch to another inning.
How many innings?
I don't know.
Bend it like Beckham, baby. Bend
Yeah.
it like Beckham.
I do like that apparently in the Wikipedia entry for cricket, they describe the names for the type. They said, as with most things in crickets, the terminology is extremely confusing.
Yes.
That's for them to put that in Wikipedia, it has to be true.
Well, that comes to an end. Another Weird Sports.
Citizens of Podcast Land, that brings us to the end of another Sports Podcast. Before we go, Phil has some contact information.
You can email us at sportspodcast@gmail.com. That's sportspodcast@gmail.com. You can tweet at us at sports3podcast. That's sports3podcast. You can find us on Facebook at facebook.com/sportspodcast. You can find us on YouTube by going youtube.com/comedypodnet to see all of our past episodes, comment, and subscribe and be nice to us. You can find us on Stitcher Radio. Download the Stitcher app today at Stitcher.com and search Sports Podcast. Or you can find us on iTunes at Sports3 Podcast. That's Sports3 Podcast. Please, also on that one, rate and review. Or you can find all of our past episodes at ComedyPodcastNetwork.com.
Good stuff, Phil.
Thank you.
That was a wicked googly. Lights up.
You have received this transmission from the Comedy Podcast Network. For more shows, visit comedypodcastnetwork.com.